2 weight classes. You must smash him, fight ready assassin. Gastelum, passing him, double leg him and tapping him. Who was the first to bring the smoke straight to Adesanya? This 5'9" middleweight, call me the Brown Bomber.
So guys, Yair Rodriguez versus Alex Volkanovski happening at UFC 290 July 8th in Las Vegas. That is the next pay-per-view coming up. Even though it's a little bit of ways, it is the fight that I am looking forward to the most. I mean, Yair Rodriguez is a really close friend of mine. We've actually lived in the same house together for a few months. He was out training in Orange County and lived in my house. And we trained constantly together. And I remember even when he was fighting, he took the fight with Korean Zombie while he was living with me. And so we would train all the time. I remember him showing me that elbow that he knocked out Korean Zombie. I was like, whoa, you know, so like, I mean, this guy has always been an incredible talent. His mentality has always been very, very different. And he takes extreme calculations on how to approach each fight. And it's very interesting to watch. And it's been very cool to see his ascent, you know, as the champion. And I actually predicted that he would win the fight against Josh Emmett. I didn't know how, but I definitely didn't see the triangle coming. I'll tell you that. But I train with Yair constantly, and just for a 145er, I mean, the guy's strength is pretty incredible. His athleticism, just the way that he moves, is not like a 45er. Not like any 45er I know. I know what he brings to the table. I have an idea of it. I think he's gotten so much better since we have lived together, and he's probably evolved so much better since then. Now he's fighting the best pound for pound fighter in the world in Alex Volkanovski. I mean, this guy is the real deal when it comes to pound for pound. When it comes to pound for pound and you talk about it, Volkanovski is the guy. He's the man. He is the conversation to be the #1 guy in that pound for pound list. I'll tell you this though, I don't think I was not completely sold of him as the champion. Even going into that third Max Holloway fight, I felt like he lost that second fight. Got dropped several times in that fight. I think Max won that fight, but then completely showed out in that third Max Holloway fight and just completely won me over as the champion. I was like, okay, yeah, this is the man. This is the guy. If you can do that to Max Holloway, the way that third fight went, I mean, you're the real deal as the real deal comes. And so I was completely sold on this guy. I think he's one of the best pound for pound, like I said. Saying that, I'm not saying this is going to be easy. I just think Yair is going to make it look easy, and I hesitated in saying that just because I know it sounds crazy, but I think Yair is going to make it look easy. I'm not saying it is easy. I'm sure he's working his freaking ass off right now so that on July 8th he comes out on top as the undisputed featherweight champion of the world, and I think he'll do it.
Yeah, so what is it about that matchup that you do like? Because, I mean, if you look at Volkanovski, a lot of people do think he beat Islam Makhachev. So you're talking about a guy who was able to move up to 155 and push Islam further than we've seen anyone push him. So what do you think it is about Yair that he provides a different challenge? Obviously, he's a very different fighter than Islam, but where he'll be able to give Volkanovski some issues.
I just think Yair will be able to capitalize on little deficiencies that Alex might have. Maybe he's just a little bit faster. Maybe he's able to catch him because of it. Maybe he's just a little bit more flexible. Maybe he's just a little bit more elusive, and he won't see a kick coming. You saw the Andre Philly kick. I mean, that was all these, Yair, the Jeremy Stevens fight. All these different kinds of attacks is what makes Yair such a special talent. I think, like I said, if he can see a little deficiency, he can exploit it and make it big, and I think that's what makes him so dangerous.
So what do you think method of victory for Yair Rodriguez versus Volkanovski? How do you see him winning?
Man, in my head, I could be wrong. In my head, I see Yair winning by a knockout with a kick. I don't know what kick. Some freaking weird 360 tornado kick that he lands. I don't know, but I think it's going to be an incredible knockout. I could be wrong. Of course, you can never count out Alexander Volkanovski, but I think my buddy's going to do it.
No, yeah, and in that, just to touch on that co-main event, we have another Mexican in there, Brandon Moreno, going against Pantoja. Do you think we're going to see two Mexicans on top, or what do you think about that matchup?
So let's talk about it. Brandon Moreno and Alexander Pantoja. I mean, they've already fought twice. I think one in the regional scene and then another in the UFC. And both times Pantoja has won. However, I think he's dealing with a completely different fighter in Brandon Moreno. I mean, he has reinvented himself through and through again, having his fights with Davison Figueiredo. I mean, fight of the years, 4 fights with him. I mean, all 4 fights were incredible. It was a pleasure to watch. And every time we've seen Brandon Moreno just get a little bit better, reinvented himself quite a few times. I think we're dealing with a completely different fighter, different mentality. I think this fight will play out a lot different. I don't know if Pantoja will win this one. I see Brandon with a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence. I see him, getting his hand raised. And so July 8th, definitely 2 Mexicans will be undisputed. Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez will be going down, and so will Brandon Moreno versus Alexander Pantoja. Sorry. It's going down July 8th, UFC 290. International Fight Week. I'm going to be out there. We're going to be doing a lot of events, signings, pictures, all that stuff. So I hope I see a lot of you guys out there. And, get your Jimmy on. Make sure to get some Jimmy bars around any Walmart and any Costco. So thank you to Jimmy Bars. None of this would be possible without them. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps me out a lot. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey.